Welcome to practice. We're going to begin laying down and take a blanket, make a long shape of your blanket, so like a mini bolster, and that's going to be for under your shoulder blade. You've got it in the right spot. If you take your arms straight out from your shoulders and they can be on the floor, and you can feel the blanket just under your arm. Make sure when you use equipment like this that your head is your neck is comfortable. So if it feels like your head is hanging back or the back of the neck feels a little squashed, put another blanket in there or take out this first blanket if it doesn't work for you. And we'll do soles of the feet together and knees out wide if that's comfortable enough for your hips. If for any reason it's not doable, put your legs in a neutral position, parallel, feet hip width. And as you adjust to your body being supported in this way, feeling each breath. Noticing the feeling of spaciousness in the body. Bring the arms overhead now and stretch them out, palms up. Give yourself a big stretch. You can let your legs out straight as well. Good. And in a moment, we're going to take the blanket out and lay back down flat. But keep a feeling in your body of where that blanket is supporting you. So bending your arms and your legs. Take it slow, roll carefully off your blanket to the right. And then take the blanket out from underneath and laying back down. See if you can find again that feeling of the blanket under the shoulder blade. The shoulder blades might even still be just shy of the floor a little. And you can feel the capacity of the lung and the ribs with the breath. Bring the legs back into Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Good, and then stretch the arms overhead again, palms up. See if you can get your hands near to the floor or onto the floor. And then stretch your legs out. Big stretch, sides of the body, front of the body. Beautiful. Gently bending in your arms and your legs and come into an all fours position. Arch the spine down and notice if it feels like the spine arches more in your lower back. And see if you can get that feeling like we just had with the blanket, with the spine arching down between the shoulder blades. And look up. Nice work. And then forward virasana. So big toes touching, knees out wide, and reach the hips back as far as they'll go with comfort for your knees, hips to the heels. In this movement, did the spine start to make a rainbow shape towards the ceiling? See if you can feel that embedding forward of the bones of the spine into the front of the torso. Feeling the capacity of each breath, the flow of the breath. Good. Elbows to the floor. Lift the shoulders up and walk the knees back a little. We'll keep the forearms parallel to each other and take the chest towards the front of the legs. Maybe your forehead reaches the floor, or keep the back of the neck comfortable. And with each breath here, feel the ribs move. Let the ribs move. And between the shoulder blades, embedding those bones of the spine into the front of the torso. And then coming up into downward facing dog pose. Heels up high. Let your head just hang down. We're going to start to swing the shoulders forward a little and then back towards the legs. So the hips will swing forward a little and back towards the wall behind. Take the movement gently, paying attention to your wrists. Keep your fingers wide. Press your fingerprint. Have a gentle, compassionate approach. And notice the capacity of your breath, the movement of the ribs. Find ways to let your neck relax a little more. Nice. We're going to try and lower the elbows towards the floor and the knees at the same time. So keep the elbows in so that the arms are parallel, forearms are parallel. Maybe you need to put your knees down first. Good. And then we'll take the chest back towards the legs again. There's an opportunity here to relax a little more in the shoulders so that the body can really assume the posture. Aware of tension, letting it go where you can. Good. And then we'll come back up into downward facing dog pose. Just remembering not to overextend your elbows. So a little bit bent in the elbows, press out just above the arms. And then we'll press the heels down and let the head hang down. Start to sway the hips a little bit from side to side. More to get a feeling of the stretch in the sides of your body, in the armpits, the chest, than trying to test the hamstrings or Some other big sensation you might get. So feeling the gentle sway and the movement of the ribs. Good. And then coming back to center. And take a rest now for the arms in child's pose. Placing your arms so that your shoulders really can relax. If you need to have your hips higher, away from your heels, sometimes having the hands in front or under the forehead can feel more comforting. So choosing where this feels most replenishing. And finding the capacity of your breath. Whatever that capacity is, feeling the ribs move, feeling the breath flow. Good, and then reaching your arm out, coming up into downward facing dog pose. Sorry, I should have said arms forward, downward facing dog pose. And we're going to step the right foot forward into a lunge position. Now, if your foot gets stuck halfway, coming down onto the knees, lifting the hands up, and then stepping forward gives you a little bit more room. And then you tuck your left toes under and you're in a lunge. So the back leg is off the floor and straight. Let the hips sink forward and lift the breastbone. Nice work. And then we're going to step the right foot back into downward facing dog pose. Feeling in your body where you can just be a little more relaxed about what you're doing. Making space. Good. And then we're going to step the left foot forward into a lunge. Now, if you get stuck halfway, bring the knees to the floor, hands off the floor, left foot forward, hands back to the floor, and then you lift up your right knee off the floor. So now we're in a lunge on the left side. Lifting the breastbone, feeling the flow of breath. Good, and then step the left foot back, downward facing dog pose. Let's sway the hips again from side to side. Where can you feel this movement now in the body? Is it back into the armpits, the sides of the rib? Can you feel it in that space between the shoulder blades? Maybe the hips, maybe the legs. And back to center. Nice work. We're going to take tiny little light hops. So you're hovering for a moment on your hands and hopping the legs forward until you run out of room, run out of hop, and then come up to stand. And arms up. Urdhva and Tadasana. Standing at the front of your mat. Mountain pose. Tadasana. Lift up onto your left tiptoes, so you're just on your right foot. Noticing the body. Finding center. Recalibrating. Good, and then reverse side. Beautiful. Then we're going to walk on the spot and try to hover with the heels, both heels off the floor as you reverse which toe is getting stretched. So when you lift up high onto the ball of the foot, really try to stretch across the base of the toe, hovering between thighs. Feeling your balance, the flow and the capacity of the breath, and the easy balance in your spine. Head over the spine. Nice work. Take the arms up into Urdhva Hastasana, Uttanasana. Good, and bend your knees enough so that your back is feeling comfortable. And then try to straighten one leg and then the other. And then we're going to try and do what we were just doing with the feet again, but in a forward bend. Now, if you feel like you're putting too much strain on your back, there's a couple of things you can do. It's a little bit harder to balance, but you can lift up and put your hands onto your knee. Try to keep both heels off the floor for the maximum amount of time. The other thing you could do is use the seat of a chair. Some people might be used to using that when necessary. But keeping the heels up off the floor as much as you can. Nice work. And then we're going to walk both feet back into downward facing dog pose, but try to keep the heels up off the floor as you walk back. Try to stretch your toes as much as you can. A little hard to coordinate at first. Good. And then when we get into downward facing dog pose, we're going to keep patting the feet, but really press the heels down from side to side. Let your head just hang down. And then walking the feet forward. Beautiful. And then lifting up, Urdhva Hastasana, Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana, Uttanasana. Big step back with your left foot, ready for Trikonasana. So line up your right heel with the center of the left foot in up. Put your right hand up on your right leg and lift your torso. But we want to keep lifting that hand up, the torso up, until we feel like we're getting the left side of the torso in line with the left leg. Beautiful. And then try to straighten both of your legs, lift your kneecap, and feel that your feet really do have a grip. And left arm up. Finding the capacity of your breath to lengthen the spine, lengthen the right rib, to roll the rib cage up towards the ceiling. Feel the floor beneath your feet. Draw the shoulder blades back. Beautiful. We're going to windmill the left arm forward to the front of the mat. Nice. Be in a long lunge position. Good. And then from this lunge position, we'll step forward, lift up, and balance on the right foot. Ooh. Maybe in one smooth movement or one balletic attempt. Hands in front of the heart. Tiptoes can be on the floor. Or maybe you're lifting your leg higher. Maybe you can even hold your knee or your foot. Whatever option, feel the standing foot and its ability to be agile and reactive to the demands of balance, being centered. Feel the balance of your spine and the capacity of your breath to center, to flow. Nice work. And releasing that side. Tadasana. Urdhva Uttanasana. Big step back with the right foot, and that's for a trikonasana shape. So your left heel lines up with the center of the right foot in it. Bring your left hand onto your left leg and start to lift your torso. But really lift up. Keep sliding the left hand up your leg until you find the right side of your torso is in line with your right leg. And then start to explore your breath and you're reaching deeper into the pose without tipping the right side of the torso forward. In fact, we want to roll that right side back so the heart starts to open up towards the ceiling. Take your right arm up. Draw the shoulder blades towards the back waist. And breathing. Enjoying the flow of the breath as you lengthen your spine. Find your agile feet, strong legs. Beautiful. And then we'll windmill the right arm back to the front of the mat. Drop your hips towards the floor so you're in a long lunge, looking forward. Good work. Stepping forward, lifting up, balancing on the left foot. Finding your hold that challenges your balance this morning, whatever that might be. And even in that challenge, each little wobble or waver, feeling the agility of your standing foot. The balance of your spine and the flow of the breath. Beautiful. Feet back to the floor. Inhale, arms up. Look up. Uttanasana. Big step back with the left foot, and this time for warrior two. So the right leg is going to be bent and we'll lift the torso. Warrior two, we'll drop the hips. Even though the hips drop, or because the hips drop, we want to feel that lift in the belly, the internal muscular support, lifting the pelvic floor, lifting the lower front. Arms reaching from the heart, shoulder blades relax down. Finding the flow of breath. Feel the left foot, outside edge of the left foot, the left fingertips reach back. The right arms reach. The right fingertips reach right to the horizon. Now let's try and step forward from here and balance on the right foot. Left foot is going to swing in front. It's going to have to be a big step. Judging your movement. Nice work. Even if you wobbled, even if you took a few steps, even if you overstepped. And finding again your balance. most of which is seeking balance, not actually being balanced. Appreciating that seeking and the flow of the breath. Nice work. Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. Arms up. Put arms. That means Uttanasana. Standing forward bend. Wow. Big step back with the right foot for your warrior two. Bend your left knee, lift the torso. So we want to feel at the same time the drop of the hip, but the lift of the belly and the pelvic floor. Fingertips reach to the horizon. You feel the chest become more spacious, shoulder blades down. Try not to grip with your toes. Feel the agility of your feet, your strong legs, long and relaxed neck. Okay, we're going to give it our best go. Reaching forward, swinging the right arm forward. Big step back, big step forward with the right leg. So you land, whoa, balanced on your left foot. I didn't quite make it. Appreciating your seeking of balance. As being balanced is such a fleeting word. But seeking balance is always present. Feeling the flow of your breath. And generally enjoying being in your body. And release that pride. Nice. We're going to take the arms up. Uttanasana. Hold on somewhere in front of your legs or your ankles. Maybe some people can tuck their fingers under their toes. And we're going to squat down a little bit. So sit bones heading towards the heels, so far that you can keep your heels on the floor. Good. And then we're going to straighten the legs into a forward bend. And try to keep that lovely feeling of the bones of the spine embedding forward, particularly between the shoulder blades. Good. And then squatting movement again. So just bending the knees a little bit. Keep the heels on the floor. Good. And then we're going to straighten the legs again. And then one more. Squatting movement. Sit bones towards the heels. And straightening the legs again. Beautiful. And then we're going to sit down. Maybe you can sit from here without using your hands, or maybe you're going to help yourself to sit down some other way. If you're trying the squatting and sitting without using your hands, warm your feet up a little bit. Get a little bit more movement in the feet before you actually go for that last little bit where your bottom sits down on the floor. And then we're going to sit up onto a blanket. Legs straight out in front. Lean back on your hands. So no matter how restricted we might be in our forward range of movement, leaning back on the hands, we can generally feel the spine embedding into the front of the torso. So the chest feels spacious, the belly has lots of length and space. Enjoying each breath. Good. Now we're going to point the toes and start to explore your forward range of movement. So just walk your hands in, and we're trying to bring the torso forward, but without losing that respectful shape for the spine. The bones of the spine definitely forward, not hunching behind. You know you've got your spine, the bones reaching forward, if you feel spacious around your heart and your chest, space for the lungs, space for the beating heart, space for the belly. So we've got our toes pointed away, which makes the hamstring shorter, and it's easier to reach into your forward range and to keep your back at ease. How about you reach as far forward as you can without losing your good spine shape? And then try straightening one leg. So dorsiflexing the toes, say, of the right leg. Leg will stretch. Good. And then reverse, dorsiflex the toes of the left and point the right toes. And you'll feel a stretching there. Good. Put your hands wherever they're best supporting you now. They might still be behind you. Maybe you're holding towards your feet. And then swap your legs again. Plantar flex the left toes, dorsiflex the right toe. Good. And last one, like flippers. And how's your back going? Are you managing to keep the bones of the spine forward? Beautiful. Now let's point both toes away again. Plantar flex. Plantar is just the top of the foot. Stretching the top of the foot. And now dorsiflex, stretching the bottom of the foot. Whoa, you might feel your hamstring. Do you notice that big restriction? How did you go keeping the bones of the spine forward? Finding the flow of your breathing. The understanding in your body of being able to take this challenge with ease, with the flow of the breath. Nice work. And then releasing that pride. Great. We're going to bend in the left leg for Janushisasana. And the left knee sits out to the side. If for some reason your knee was very uncomfortable, you could put a pillow in under your leg to support it more so it's not quite such a big stretch. Good. And we're going to lean back again. And feel the bones of the spine embedding forward. And what that means for the whole body, the easier function of the organs, not squashing them. Great. And then we're going to start to find our forward range of movement. Rather than just leading the torso directly forward, try and lean the left side of your torso towards the right side of your straight leg. We're on a bit of a diagonal, reaching away from your bent knee. Torso's reaching away from there. So reaching, but not to a point where you lose that good awareness, that good ease for your belly, for the chest. Find the spaciousness of the body. Feeling of the bones of the spine embedding into the strong muscle there, embedding forward. Good. Put your hands where it makes sense. You might have your left hand on the outside of your right leg or your right foot. Point the toes away from you. See if you can lift your torso a little and then reach further forward. Notice how that pointing of the toes really affects your range of movement. Good. And then Try pointing the toes back towards your face. Oh, big stretch. Good, and then we're going to release that side. Nice work, both legs out in front and bending in your right leg. And right leg out to the side. So if it would really support you to put a pillow in under your right leg, then do that. If you have any pain in your knee, support the knee higher up. Good. Let's try our leaning back and making connection to the space, the internal organs, the belly, the lungs, the heart, and all the other ones. The bones of the spine, reaching forward. Beautiful. Now we're going to start to explore our forward range of movement, not just forward, but stretching the right rib across to the left side of the straight leg. So reaching the torso away from your bent knee. You put your hands where it makes sense for your supporting your movement. Maybe your right arm can hold the outside of your left leg or left foot. Okay, now we're restricted by the position of the foot, which is affecting the hamstring. Let's try pointing the toes, left toes away. Good. Lift up a little, the belly and the chest again, and then reaching forward. Keep the back of the neck. When you have reached as far forward as your range of movement going this morning or this moment, then take your left toes back towards your face. Whoa. And then you know where your hamstrings are. We're not overdoing it with the back, keeping a calm approach. Feeling the flow of the breath in the spaciousness of the front torso. Beautiful. And then releasing. And then laying down. We're going to lay flat and we're going to recall having the blanket underneath the shoulder blade. So even lean to one side and walk your opposite shoulder blade under a little bit more. Lean to the other side. Walk the shoulder blades under. And place your arms down. Feet are hip width parallel. Press into the feet. Use your legs powerfully and lift your hips up off the floor. Squeeze the buttock muscles. And then lower down bone by bone. Like trying to get a little bit of movement between the bones of your spine. Let's do that again. Use your legs powerfully, the buttock muscles powerfully, lifting the hips high, feeling the movement between each bone, as subtle as that movement might be, and lowering down, still feeling powerful in the muscle of your lower body. Good. And then releasing. Take your arms straight out from your shoulders now, inside edges of the feet together, knees together. Lift the hips, swing them right, and legs go left. We'll hold for a couple of breaths. Letting the body lengthen. Good. Draw in the pelvic floor, the core of the body to lift the legs. Lift the hips, swing them left. Knees go right. And taking a couple of breaths here. Um, mhm. Using the core of your body, lifting up back to center, hug your knees into your chest. Ah, rocking a little bit from side to side. And rolling gently to your right side. When you're ready, coming up to sitting. Hands in front of your heart. Namaste.